So my name is Jake Barnett. I'm going to do a quick deck profile on a not very good deck, but a deck I think is interesting and has some potential. So the leader I am playing is Jiren, a yellow Jiren. This card, when it attacks, it has to take up 1 life, and then it can have one of 2 options. It can either play a 2-drop U11 from hand on the battlefield, or it can draw 1 card and get plus 5k. And its awakened conditions are when you're at 4 or less life, you can untap 1 card, draw a card, and then on its awakened side, when this card attacks, you draw a card and you get plus 5k power for the turn, so he's swinging 20k. And then active battle, choose 1 card in your life and add it to your hand. Until the start of your next main phase, as long as you have a Universe 11 in play, you don't take damage from your opponent's attacks. So I thought there was an interesting interaction that we can do with this older Jiren with some newer cards. And I am actually playing a Jiren Pod deck. So there's a lot of cards from Universe 11 that actually play from your drop area. So I think that a Jiren Pod deck with some hand control could actually have some potential. So this field card, all it really says is once per turn, when you play a green battle card from your drop area, draw 1 card. It does have an activate name for 4. Place this card in its owner's drop area. Choose up to 1 of your battle cards in your cost of 4 or less from your drop area to play it. But really, I remember playing yellow Jiren a lot and struggled with its hand size. But I think with Frieza's Army Healing Pod, we can help draw more cards to alleviate that business. So, our turn 1 play is we do want to charge a green-yellow multicolor for the new card of Margarita, Angel of Universe 11. She is essentially a barrier blocker energy exhaust, but when she's played, your opponent discards a card. And then she has an auto limit 1 when your opponent plays a battle card with a skill or activates a counter skill. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So Putin in black, but this is a green-yellow Universe 11 with barrier blockers. So you can stick her on turn 1 and discard a card, and then that way you have the Universe 11 kind of sticking on your board and using switch to affect the rest cards. So beyond that, we do have a couple multicolor non-energy exhaust cards. So if we do charge a green-yellow turn 1, we can play this out, and then turn 2 we can have 2 energy open. And then we go to the main driver of the deck of Topo, Gaze of Justice. So this card, when it's played, essentially once per turn, your opponent discards a card. And then when this card is placed in your drop area by a skill, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand. So when you play this card or when it's placed in the drop area via a skill, your opponent discards a hand, and you can't activate Topo Gaze of Justice skill for the duration of the turn. So you want to play him out for 1 energy and kind of let him sit if you can, or you can use Bardock Paternal Unison. And when your opponent combos a card, you can eliminate a combo card, but it does have a +1. Choose 1 of your green battle cards with energy cost of 1 and KO it. If you do, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. So essentially, if you're able to do an alternative route of charging green on turn 1, and playing Topo on turn 1 is discard on turn 1, and then on turn 2 you can play Bardock and then make them discard 2 on turn 2. And then beyond that, if you stick the Unison and a couple U11s, you have the option of Coquette Technique Unleashed, where you can discard a card from hand as long as you have a Universe 11 in play, and play her from the drop area. So you can discard something like Fuji. If you have a Topo out in play, you can play her out. While you have a Bardock on board, you can pop her, so that your opponent discards a card. You can kind of keep on cycling her back and forth. And beyond that, Fuji does have a permanent with all Universe 11 cards with a cost of 2 or less gain barrier. So that's kind of like your Stickum card. If you're not able to get Margarita, or if you want to do things beyond Margarita, you can still stick Kuchi out there. And that helps out with your active battle, not taking damage from opponent's attacks. the way we're playing cards from the drop area is not only Jiren Private Universe 11, you can play two Universe 11 cards with energy cost of 1 from your drop area to the battle area with the skills negated for the turn. So you can keep cycling out your topos and your kunchis and your coquettes. So you can pop topos and then bring them back, and the next turn you can pop them again, or same thing with coquettes, and all the while drawing off of pod on your turn. So a bunch of U11s playing from the drop and discarding cards from your opponent's hand. And then you can also go a little bit with Zarbon. You can pay 1 energy and discard a green card, so you can how you can get coquette into the drop and discard it. And then if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand when this card is removed from your battle area via skill or KO, so he's a blocker, your opponent discards a card. So you can discard the Zarbon to play coquette and pop coquettes, and then pay 1 energy to play Zarbon, and then that's a blocker, and then block and KOs it, and you can discard another card. So picking at your opponent's hand little by little with everything that
my name is Jiren.
For super combos, I only had 3 SPR cells, so that's all I played, but Coquette's nice to actually draw a card on your turn if you want, if you have 5 or more life. But Cell draws you a card because if your leader card is green or yellow at the end of battle, at which this card is used from a combo from your hand, play this card from your drop area. So you can draw off a pod by comboing Cell, and then he's in your battle area for successors. So you have a couple of successors. Also, to make more value of that, I do run a couple arrivals. We got Android 18 and Krillin power couple, which essentially green-yellow arrival, so you can draw a card, play this for 1 green energy, and make your opponent discard a card, which is what I've used it for. Or late in the game, you can play Turles, Dark Power Unleashed, for 3 energy. When this card KOs, so he's got blocker, revenge, arrival for yellow and 2 other energy for green-yellow. When this card KOs an opponent's battle card, switch this card to active mode, then choose one of your opponent's card in one card in your opponent's hand and discard it. Then when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, choose all of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, KO them, and choose all of your opponent's battle cards and switch them to rest mode. It's just kind of a big old blocker if we need it. But I also play 3 Dispo. So Dispo is accessor for 1, another barrier U11, which is important, but also for 1, so you can combo a cell, play cells. If you have 2 cells, or 1 power couple, or a margarita, and a topo, and kunchu, or a coquette, you can pay 1 energy, discard these, and discard a card, and then play out a dispo, so you draw a card. You can swing within, you can pay another yellow energy to successor of himself, and draw a card that way. Drawing cards while your opponent is discarding cards. As for a couple defensive cards, I did play 1 Forbidden Power. I didn't like it all that much because it doesn't negate the attack, and then when you active battle or take a life, you're kind of ending the turn anyway, so I don't think this is worth it unless you're playing a lot of blockers. So I would kind of swap that out for something else. But an interesting card is Dispo, Swift Rescue Dispo. Essentially unique. Active battle for 1. If your leader card is a mono yellow Universe 11, and it's your opponent's turn, play this card from your hand in rest mode. So if they clear all of your U11s on your field and you have 1 open energy, you can play this essentially as a Brainwash No More. And then auto, limit 1, discard 1 card from your hand. When this card is played, play up to 1 yellow Universe 11 card with energy cost of 2 or less from your drop area in rest mode with the skills negated for the turn. So it also triggers pod, so you can Brainwash, play this, play another card from drop, draw a card, and that way you have 2 Universe 11s for your active battle skill. We do run 2 Dark Temptation Toa, just to kind of keep picking at the hand. You can start early with topos and margaritas and keep their hand size at 0 and just kind of go for game later. Be careful with Toa Dark Temptation because you don't want to warp away your 1-drops that you're going to play from drop later. So kind of a pick and choose your moments with that, or play out your 1-drops, then overwhelm and go beyond that. I do run 3 Friezas to go with the Bardock Paternal Unison, but Friezas also let you play Fusamasu, Deity's Wrath, so you essentially KO a Frieza or cost of 5 things. So Margarita and things like that, 5k or more. Essentially, if you have 3 or more energy, choose green battle cards in your battle area with 5k power or more, with total energy cost of 5 and place in your drop area. Play this card from your hand. This is a 20k indestructible, make your opponent discard a card. Then, essentially, for your turn 5 win the game strategy, you want to play Belmont and Margarita, Universe 11, Destroy Your Angel. So for 3 energy, you can Successor for 7, dual attack to make your opponent drop 3 cards. If this card was removed from your battle area via skill, you can choose any number of battle cards in your drop area with energy cost 2 or less, which total add up to 4, and play them with the skills negated for the turn. But essentially, I think you can discard 9 cards on turn 5 by having 7 on board. Let's do that and that. So you have this kind of combo going on. And you... Let's see. Let's say something like this. You can pop 1 topo to discard 2 cards. You can Successor for 3. These 2.
I told you exactly.
Successor for 7 for 3. So that's 5 cards total. You can then pay 2 more energy to discard a card with Margarita. That's another card, that's 6. And then play Self. It all works out. So you can play cards back with Jiren by Universe 11, get up to 12 after a 7 and a 5 or whatever. And so that's 9 cards total. 3, 6. Yep. But essentially, on turn 5, you just kind of go in, make sure they have no hand, and swing monster. I did have one of these just in play because it's one of my favorite cards, but it's really bad because you can definitely just block it. But Jiren, Strength and Silence, pay 5, Successor 10. Quadruple Strike, and then choose 3 Universal 11 cards from your hand and or battle and place them in the drop area. When this card, when you play this card, it isn't affected by your opponent's skills until the start of your next main phase. So you can't negate it, or it's not affected by the negate, and it's not going to be affected by anything except blocker. So it's just a fun card to kind of run in there, charge, or do whatever else. But that is my Jiren pod hand control. Trying to go for the game on that on turn 5. Also remember that the active battle is not once per turn, so if you are going for a game, life is a resource that you can continue to pick up for combo and whatnot. But it's just a fun deck. It went 1 and 2 on a random Saturday. It's not very good, but you can definitely discard your opponent's whole